Welcome back to my channel. What are we even talking about today? My name is Jada. If you're new here, I've written 3 books. One will never see the light of day, the second is in revision purgatory, and the third is my current whip, Churchbred, which you can learn more about on my Instagram. And there's a 4th one that I'm working on that we'll get into that a little bit in this video. I've had quite the morning. It's literally just been a culmination of the past 4 or 5 days of me dealing with my laptop and editing videos. My laptop memory is full, so I can't upgrade it because it's a MacBook Air, so I can't upgrade the memory, and my hard drive is full, so it won't back up my current laptop so that I can delete old things. It feels like a circle of never-ending BS. So that's so exciting. So I'm stuck on iMovie until I figure this stuff out, but hopefully by the time I'm ready to freaking edit this, I'll have figured it out. But yes, I have writing updates. So you know how I decided to work on the random romance? I've gotten pretty far in the backstory. So I wrote the one scene. I wrote the meet cute, and I didn't know it was a meet cute. I thought it was going to be the first chapter. So like the first chapter, obviously it's not the meet cute, which I guess I could do that, but that would really speed up the pacing. So we're not gonna do that. I have to add at least 1 to 2 chapters before the meet cute. The purpose of me writing the meet cute was to see if the story had like more substance to it than just like a little short thing that I wanted to get out of my head. And as days went on, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to pursue this. So yeah, I'm pursuing that. I have a Pinterest board. I've been working on character backstories. It doesn't take a lot of time, especially if you know exactly what, but there's just so many moving parts. And I know for the first time, I'm supposed to just get on the page, but I have to do some amount of research before to make my writing process even more smoother, because I feel like I'm going to want to fast draft this, and I'll probably end up not using any of it, because that's just how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles around here. I'll probably use like 25% of it, honestly. So I'm trying not to stress too much, but I would love to have the things that don't change for me are the backstories. Backstories don't change. The story could change, but the backstory's not going to, and the development's not going to. The arc isn't really going to change. So that's what I've been working on. I've been working on that. And Churchbred, not been working on that. It's still on the back burner. It's still sitting here staring at me every day. So sad because it's not incorporated into my laptop draft yet. I feel like I've taken enough time from it, but I'm straddling that line between procrastination and not being ready. You know what I mean? At one point, am I procrastinating? I don't know. We're gonna find out, right? But some people take like a very long time away from their drafts after reading through, like over a month. I'm like, if I take over a month away from this story, I'm not gonna go back to it. And that's terrible to say, but I know how my brain works. Once we've moved on, love, we're gone. We're gone, and I'm not coming back to it. Like, that's how I feel about With the Band. I love the story. I love the story. I wrote the draft, and I was starting to add in the other things. Then I started working on Churchbred. And With the Band, like I said, revision purgatory is freaking real. It is real. I thought, oh, I'm gonna be able to come back to it. That's not how my brain works. So I need to accept that is my process, and that I need to either get eyes back on this story, or it'll perish. It will literally be stuck in revision purgatory with the band. What do you do? What do you do when you have all these stories living inside of you? What do you do? So that's where I'm at with Churchbred. And I feel like I just want to do more development. Like, I'm not on a break, but I want to break. If I found out that Corksicle actually has lead in their products, I just accept my fate. I've been using their products for years. Literally years, since college. If their products have lead in it, I'm dead. I'm dead. Anyway, back to the romance, because I don't want to talk about Churchbred. Churchbred, it's not limiting, but it's like, it's not romance. It's women's fiction, because the story is centered around how my MC evolves And yes, there's romance in it, but that's not the focus. And this this is romance. That's the focus here, okay? That's what we're focusing on. But I don't know, I was kind of torn because I'm like, do I want dual POV? Do I want dual POV in this book, and do I feel like writing dual POV in this book? Because that's the thing with the band, I did not want to write dual POV, and I decided like midway through, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do dual POV. I'm like, geez, this is really late in the game to add a second point of view. So I and I also changed a lot of the plot, so I'm like, if I go back to that story, it's gonna be a complete rewrite. So that's fun. That's a lot to look forward to when I get back to that, if I ever get back to it. I have like a whole series I need to get back to, but yes, I don't know if I want to do dual POV. I feel like without dual POV, it won't feel like a modern, like it won't feel like a contemporary romance, you know what I mean? And I love first person, so first person dual POV is my kryptonite. I love it. I love reading it. Writing it, I don't know. We're gonna have to see where that goes. We're gonna have to see where that goes, because I don't know. I have no idea. That's not something for me to worry about right now, because I haven't even started plotting the book. I'm still on character development and the arc, and like I have random scenes in my head that I'm just like, oh yeah, that works. So I have like a little I have obviously my document that I told you about, and I have also, if you're new here, I'm sorry, go back and watch the old videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I have like a random scenes page, and I just write down random scenes that I want to add in so I don't forget. Sometimes I check it, sometimes I don't. Like, I was looking at my Churchbred one, and I was like, oh, these are random scenes that I never added, but I don't know if they're gonna fit anymore. So if you do a random scenes, make sure you check it occasionally, especially when you're plotting. Be like, oh, let me just print out, because I have my brainstorm, opening scenes, midpoint scenes, ending scenes, and then my random scenes. So print that out before you start plotting and try to like pull things in there. Also, that's it. That's it. I'm thinking there's there's technically I feel like I'm giving too much away. There's technically a ranch involved in this romance, and ever since I said that, I've been getting ads like crazy for ranches near me. And don't be fooled, there are technically no ranches near me, but there are some like in North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, and I'm like, do I do a little day trip? Do I do a little day trip to one of these ranches? I don't know. I saw a horse at the gas station. That sounds so... I saw a horse in a trailer at the gas station. Me saying that I saw a horse at the gas station is kind of wild. It makes it sound like I'm living in the sticks. I'm not living in the sticks. I can say for sure that I'm not living in the sticks. I saw a horsey, and I was just like, it felt like confirmation. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, horse. Even though I developed a fear of horses overnight, I can look at them from afar. And there's like there was a whole story about it that lived on my Instagram story for 24 hours. And if you missed it, you missed it. I'm not repeating it. But yes, it was about how I developed a fear of horses overnight. So yeah, I'm like, do I go to a ranch for research? And the name is so like, it's very Catalucci Ranch. It's in Maggie Valley. And fun fact, Maggie Valley has been coming up in my brain for a long time now. Like, I just keep seeing signs about Maggie Valley. Anyway, that's one of the ranches that I saw, and I was just like, I low-key want to visit, but I low-key don't. I definitely want to visit a ranch, at least for a day, and get some vibes and get some inspo. So I feel like I might... If I do, I will bring you guys along, okay? That's enough of that. We're gonna wrap that up. We're wrapping that up. We're no longer talking about the freaking ranch. But yes, there's a ranch in the romance book, and I low-key think that the MC, the male main character, or the love interest, is going to try to get my FMC to this ranch, because I think my FMC is a workaholic. So I don't know, she's like falls asleep at her desk workaholic. So we're gonna see. I was able to watch like 3 things this weekend. If you're not new here, you know that I've been kind of like in a rut with watching media and consuming media, but I watched 3 things this weekend. The first thing I watched was Upgraded with Camila Mendes. Love her. Had to watch it. So good. Upgraded was so good. It was like rom-com-y, and Oh, so good. Highly recommend. It's on Amazon Prime. I also watched Killers of the Flower Moon. That was heavy. That was heavy, and that was very long. That was insane. Insane. That's why I have to say. I'm just like, that was insanity. At first, I was really confused because I wasn't quite sure who was who. And I was like, wait, who's this? Who's this? Who is this person? But I watched it with my grandmother and my cousin, and after we were like into it, we were like, okay, we're just gonna finish it. Because I realized it was at 3 hours and 30 minutes. No, I was like an hour in. I was like, this is long. I was like, how are they gonna resolve it this quickly? And then I pressed pause and checked the time. I was like, no, this is 3 hours and 30 minutes. And I thought it was a glitch, so I went online and I was like, it's actually 3 hours and 30 minutes. So my guy was like, well, we already started watching it now. Meanwhile, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm like, are you serious? I have to go to bed. But watched it. It was good. It was, like I said, it was heavy. That's all I gotta say about that. Then I watched one episode of the Vince Staples show. I actually have to go finish it because the first episode was funny. It was funny. If you liked Atlanta, you'll like the Vince Staples show. Well, I've only seen one episode, so that's my one episode recommendation. Watch it. It's funny. And I watched all of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the new one, obviously. The show with Donald Glover and someone else. I don't know the lady's name, but it was good. It was funny. I didn't think it would be funny because the way it opened, I was like, but also I low-key want a spin-off with Aitza Gonzalez and Alexander Skarsgård because I love them. I love them so much. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was really good. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. That's what I watched. I have nothing on my radar for the next few weeks. I think that was a little rare occurrence that I've got to like dive into. I'm still reading several books. Especially, what is that book? Before and After the Book Deal. Still reading that. That book, it's helpful, but it's like, I feel like it's more so a reference book. You know what I mean? Like a reference, like something you just refer to when you need it. Not necessarily something you read in one sitting, like a fiction book. So yes, that's really it. I think next week's video is going to be editing and incorporating these edits because I really want to get back to this. I feel like I've taken enough time. I would like to get back to this now, but not yet. Like by next week, I will be back into the book, into Churchbred. I'll be back into Churchbred by the end of next week. Hope you enjoyed this vlog of me talking about writing and books and movies. That's all I have for you today. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram if you're into that kind of thing. I post a lot on there. See you next week.